Welcome to the Handyman Hank channel. I know what I can do today. I have a breakdown of all the parts and pieces that we need to build this camera boom. It's all in sections, and I'll start with these parts here. First off, this is where the camera is mounted. This is the handle, the pieces for the handles. This is aluminum tubing. So these are the metal pieces that you need. You have to get this from the metal market, this from the metal market, and you'll have to get these from the metal market, along with the boom. The boom is 10 feet long. It's tube steel. It's a 2x4. The wall is 1/8 thick, so that's another thing. So these are the pulleys. You can pick those up in the hardware store, mainly for garage door applications. They come in a package of 2. They've got bearings in them, so they're very quiet. So this is your cable. It's 15 feet of airline cable, 1/8. You need a turnbuckle, and you need some cable clamps. You can squeeze them on. You have eyelets here. So in the body of the boom, you have your cabling, your direct current cable. The next one is your audio visual. If you're streaming, you can run this cable. Okay, we are at the head, and that dimension is 6x6 angle at 3 inches wide at 1/4 inch thick. Actually, it's 3/8 thick. So just to measure up, at 4 inches, this end here where the pulley would go, that would be center, 1.5 inches, and that hole there would be 1/4 inch. And then your 3/16 screw that fits your camera would go through like so, and then you would have a camera pad, and then you would tighten that up, and then your camera would face whatever direction you need it to face. But at least the pad had something that would keep it from slipping. We're going to mount the pulley. This hole here is 1 inch, and I used a hole saw, a metal hole saw, and then these holes here are 1/4 inch, and they coincide with the holes in the pulley. Because right now what you're doing is you're going to fix the pulley to the head. 2 3/16 screws by 1 inch, and the head is, what is that, 11 millimeters. And then I use the nuts that have the nylon washer, the locking. Okay, so now the pulley is fixed, and now we're going to mount that on the boom. And then the bolt that I'm using now would be 2 inch 3/8 thread, and it's a 5/8 or 9/16 head. So that's how we do that. We put that through here like that. We feed this through this hole, and then we tighten the whole thing up with our lock nut. Okay, and now we tighten that up. Okay, now we have a spinning head. Now all our lines are fed through. We've got our power, our direct current, and we've got leads for audio visual, RCA, and coax. When mounting your camera, what I was using is a 1 inch by 1/4 inch, 1 inch by 3/16 screw that will screw into the bottom of your camera. And then I have a pad And now I have a good surface for my camera to sit on. Okay, the cabling, once we've determined our hole, I think we went with a 1 1/4. Got a grommet for that. We put a grommet in there, and then we passed all our cables through. Okay, coming on the other side is where we're going to put our pulley, and we have a bolt. So a 3-inch bolt, 3/8 shaft, and then a nut with the nylon. Now with this pulley, we have the controlling arm. We'll have to attach that to the pulley before we do anything else. 1-inch bolts, 3/16 thread. So I've used some nuts for spacers just in case. We need to have a good bearing. We didn't want to bend it. So 11 millimeters. Good and snug. So then my large bolt goes through here. So this hole is center of the 2x4, so 1.5 inches in, and from the back it's 3 feet, and the size is 3/8. So then we'll put that through there, and that goes right through to the other side. And then we have a washer. And we're nice and snug. Okay. So now that spins nicely. Now we have the handles to put on. So the tube steel. We have tube steel that's 5 3/8, 3/4, and it's a 1/8 wall. We have 2 carriage bolts, 6 inches by 1/4 inch. Acorn nuts and washers here. Because this is the side we're closest to the 2x4, the distance here isn't very much, and I don't want to put the nut on this side. So I'm going to run it this way. I'm going to run our tube in like that. I'm going to put a washer. And then we're going to put the acorn nut. Again, it's center of the control arm. So the control arm is 14 inches by 1 1/4, 3/16 thick. This hole here is center of that, 5/8, and then make it 5/8 that way as well. Alright, so that was 9/16. So there we have our control arm. So our tripod mount is a bolt, 4 inches, 3/8, 1.5 thread. And the head is 1/2 inch. I can give you 2 measurements from the back. I've got 46 inches and 50 inches. And that'll give you a little bit of room to balance it out. Plus it gets you away from the cabling, so if you had it here it would be right in the way of the cabling. So if you go below or above the cabling, then you can still put your bolt in. So now we have the bracket for my fitness weights. So I found this piece of metal that fit in a bracket, and it seemed like the right application for this, so I thought I would mount this right at the tail end. So I've got some bolts here that are 3/4, 1/4 by 1/4. You can put a hole here with a hook. And there you go. For the cabling, once you put all your fittings together and your turnbuckle, then you can install the cable. So to fine tune it, just loosen it up a bit. Set your head, and then you can manipulate this accordingly. And then tighten her up. Now I have a little gizmo I found in my junk drawer. I'm just going to mount this on here as a locking device, because what I do is I put a fitness weight on this thing, and then that will just keep it from falling off. And this fitness weight will stay on this end, and as I manipulate the boom, it will stay in this position, and then the head will coincide with that positioning. You can see the head moving. So there you have it. The camera boom for under $100. Works like a charm. Handyman Hank here. See you next time.